Hi! In this video, we will look at 3 techniques to memorize any new information that you research. Memorization techniques are not usually taught very effectively. Effective memorization requires a large amount of creativity. It requires you to unlock your child mind, as you will see in this video. Here are 3 techniques to memorize any new information. Visual markers. Visual markers are very useful when reading or trying to memorize concepts. To use this technique when reading, you need to assign an outrageous mental image to each paragraph that you read. This image must somehow remind you of what the paragraph was talking about. After a few paragraphs, you can make a story out of the different images that you have assigned. Replaying this outrageous story in your mind will allow you to remember the information contained within those paragraphs. Loci Method. The Loci Method is an effective way to memorize lists that can help with things ranging from a public speech that you are giving to a grocery list. This method requires that you explore a location that you know well, such as your home, while following a specific path. You would then choose a few notable places along that path that stand out to you. In each of those places, you would place a visual marker that reminds you of the specific list item that you are trying to remember. The more ridiculous the visual marker, the easier it will be to remember. Walking through the same path in your imagination will lead you through the list that you have memorized. For example, if I wanted to remember a grocery list of bread and toothpaste, I would start by walking through the front door of my home. Upon opening the front door, I find that a baker is baking a fresh loaf of bread in a stone oven that he has built in my wall. As I keep walking into my home, I make it into my kitchen and see a cat in my kitchen sink licking the dirty dishes. Because of this, the cat's teeth are very dirty. Replaying this story in my mind would remind me that I need bread and toothpaste. Spaced repetition. Spaced repetition is the most common of these memory techniques. Most of the time, it is not used correctly, however. If there's a specific definition you're trying to learn, you would want to repeat the process of reciting it daily until you can recite it perfectly. When this occurs, you need to change the frequency of reciting this definition from daily to weekly. This will test your long-term storage of this information. The more difficult the definition is to recite, the more likely it is to be encoded as a long-term memory. An app called Anki is very useful in helping to remind you of things that you want to practice spaced repetition with. This technique works great for new concepts, definitions, and languages. Utilizing these techniques in conjunction with one another and practicing them daily can rewire your brain's ability to take in and store new information. No one has a bad memory. It is all a matter of being taught the proper techniques and exercising your brain muscle every day to ensure that it stays strong.